Get into NHL playoffs betting with Sports Interaction, as Jesse did during Game 7.
Oh, you mean like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Leafs,
like you did it live during the game. We were watching.
I don't celebrate that victory. They lost the game, but it was great that I could do that from my seat.
Before the game starts, live and player, how your favorite player will perform, doing it right since 1997. Sports Interaction is Canada's sportsbook with the most competitive odds. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. And join now to see all that sports betting has to offer. It's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That is sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Edmonton's out despite the fact that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl combined for 65 points in the playoffs.
65. Oh, yeah, it was. Sorry, fuck.
65 points.
16 games. I've had a tough couple days.
It's okay. You're tired.
God's sake.
You're tired. I mean,
well, you know what? It's not their fault that Mikko Lehkonen finished them off.
Oh, jeez.
So what happened? What happened on your live stream?
Tell us that.
Why was it the worst moment of your life?
So, well, it's a nightmare fuel scenario, and I'm going to think about it every stream going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calling Game 4. It's ridiculous. It's 3-1 heading into the third. There's a billion goals. It's 5-5 heading into OT, and I know the OT winner is going to be a big one. Because either Edmonton gets themselves back into the series and they score a playoff overtime winner at home, huge, or the Colorado Avalanche advance to the Stanley Cup final. And there's a rebound in front, there's a goal, and I say, there it is! The Avalanche are off to the Stanley Cup final! Mikko Lehkonen!
Ooh.
Former Leaf.
And you see it in my face, and I'm like, Mikko Lehkonen? I haven't, okay, yes, he was a former Leaf for approximately 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
You wait longer in a line at Pearson Airport than Mikko Lehkonen was a Leaf. And I haven't thought of Mikko Lehkonen for at very least months. I don't think I've said his name for a year.
I remember being excited about him.
Dude played 9 games, Jesse just brought it up, as a Leaf.
9 games as a Leaf, and then also with Columbus that season. He only 26 career NHL games.
So it's got nothing to do with me being a Leafs guy. I've called 4 series with Artturi Lehkonen in it.
Mm-hmm.
Artturi Lehkonen, who's the actual goal scorer because he's on the fucking Avalanche. Another thing, people kept calling this my Kasperi Kapanen moment because when Austin Matthews scored the Game 4 winner against Columbus, Jim Houston accidentally said Kasperi Kapanen. At least Kapanen was on the Leafs.
And he was coming onto the ice.
Yes, and he was coming onto the ice.
That call that Houston made, he made it because he couldn't see who shot the puck.
Yes.
And he just guessed in the moment because he didn't want to not do a call. And Kapanen was right there.
My brain just overrode the correct answer and gave me the wrong one. And I don't know why. But I've called 4 series with Artturi Lehkonen in it. I did Leafs Habs last year. I skipped Habs Jets, but then I did Habs Vegas and I did Habs Lightning. And now this year I've done Oilers Avalanche. So that's, I don't know, over a dozen games with Artturi Lehkonen, not including regular season games that he's been in. It's the second straight year I've called a game where he sent his team to the Stanley Cup final with an overtime winner. And I just fucked it up.
Have you gone back and watched the call from last year's semifinals?
No.
Where you haven't...
What, my call?
Your call. Did you say Artturi Lehkonen?
I hope so.
Okay. So you haven't
now
gone
I'm
back
not
and
sure.
checked that.
No. Oh, Jesse. See, you're not used to this. When you make a on-camera fuck-up, you are not eager to rewatch it.
No, not
You're
at all.
not eager to rewatch anything of yours.
Oh, I'm aware. I fucked up. Don't pretend like I haven't fucked up many times on this show.
Oh, well, that
But never on the Jesse Blake Sports Report.
Yeah.
No, that's not old enough to have too many fucks up.
Out this week on No One, especially with a name like that.
That's stupid.
How was the reaction online? Because somebody obviously clipped it as soon as you called him Mikko Lehkonen, and then there was a million quote tweets. Instantly. What was the reaction like?
So what I was expecting was a flood, an absolute typhoon of get this fucking idiot Leafs fan off of these streams. And I did get a small handful of those. But for the most part, it was like, Steve, this is why I love you. That's hilarious. Don't worry about it, man. You're going to be fine. And
that's really nice.
That was nice. That was heartening. But oh man, we had 2 hot mic incidents during that series where they accidentally left my mic up. And one of them was, I go, look at that. And another was...
And it became a TikTok sound.
It became a TikTok sound.
Are people using it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, incredible.
And then the second was, I go, sorry, guys. Because I was coughing my brains out. Yeah, like that.
Sorry, guys.
And so we had to break, and I just wanted to apologize to everyone. And sure enough, it got out there. And there was 2 different producers who left my mic up. And all series long, they were like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. That's so embarrassing. And nothing they do for the rest of the playoffs will get fucking up the series winning goal. I really did start to think I was getting good at it. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I make exciting calls.
I think what happens is that
I fucked up.
It's like that Star Wars line. It's great, kid. Don't get cocky.
I got cocky.
You got a little cocky.
I got cocky.
Family Guy, it's like, that's great, kid. Don't get penisy. Have you seen that? The Family Guy Star Wars, they do they did the full trilogy and they parody the whole movie.
Oh, no.
It's awesome. It's so good, but that's one of the lines in it.
Well,
so good. But you know what, Steve?
Oh, man.
Mistakes are okay. But here's my question.
It's a bad one, though.
The Edmonton Oilers have got a very interesting summer. Like, most of the major players are locked up, and Darnell Nurse's extension kicks in. Obviously, the big question is going to be Evander Kane. Or does he come back? He said after this series that it was the best organization he'd ever played for. Shot.
He said all the right things.
All the players were like, he came in, he did what he wanted, He did what the team asked. He was a team guy first. They'd want Connor McDavid, who just looked sour, was like,
as opposed to what?
As he should.
Yeah. And no, but he was. You could tell, man. That loss fucking bothered him.
Of course.
And I wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't a shot at Connor McDavid. It's like, fuck, it sucks.
Yeah.
But he's. I don't think you're gonna get Evander Kane at $1 million next year. So
no,
he's such anyone who thinks they have a read on his market value, I think, is lying.
I think it's higher than you think.
And the important
given what's
thing,
gone on, and listen, I'm with you on the whole thing about I'd be weary to sign a guy like that, but
he also currently leads the playoffs in goal scoring.
Yeah, and Jesse, what were you going to say?
The important thing about his contract before we get into where would he sign, an arbitrator still has to rule on it, and that he could be a San Jose Shark come a month from now.
No.
Yes, an arbitrator still has to rule on the contract status of Evander Kane, and the arbitrator might rule that the contract was voided invalid, and that he has to be returned to the Sharks, and that the Sharks now have to move him to a different team.
Whoa.
That's still a thing that has to play out.
Okay, if that happens that way, if you're the Kings, Flames, and less so the Avalanche, actually no, fuck that. He took out Nazem Kadri. So if you're the Kings, Flames, or Avalanche, do you not lose your mind at the fact that this dude was playing hockey for the Oilers when he shouldn't have been?
You'd be upset at the NHL for waiting on the arbitration decision till after all of this happened.
Oh, we know how speedy they are with these things.
But
with anything.
Because he's still fighting for all of his money back.
How don't we have an answer on this?
They wanted to wait.
Why?
Ask Mr. Gary. I don't know who made the decision. I don't know
when this happened, he wasn't playing hockey.
Right.
Well,
what was the delay?
I think this shit always just takes forever.
Yeah.
It's just
the legal process, right?
It takes
so
forever.
I'm interested to see how that plays out, because if the contract rights are still maintained by San Jose, they're like, okay, you didn't have a right to invalidate his contract, you still have to honor the contract, then that cap that he was making, that becomes his new deal. And then the San Jose Sharks have to move it. So they probably have to retain a lot of that money.
At least half.
50%.
Well, sorry, you can only
That's the max, the 50%. Yeah. And then somebody gets Evander Kane on sweetheart deal. Because do you have it in front of you, Adam? Is it
7 over 7. It was
so
a $49 million deal.
Yeah. Woo. So 7. So it's 3. Somebody gets Evander Kane for $3.5 million, and like this offseason, if they rule like, okay, the Sharks did have the right to invalidate the contract, I think he's signing for more than that 3.5.
I think so too.
Listen, I mean, again, Jack Roslovic just got 4. Yeah. He's getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, and again, let me just say this: there's a lot of people out there, and I'm with you, who are like, I wouldn't want the guy on my team. Given, every single organization he's left, it's been acrimonious when he's left, right? Like
EFG.
Yeah, and all the other things that are extra hockey, right? All the others, we don't need to go through the list. I mean, on a purely hockey thing, if this guy was an unrestricted free agent today without all the other stuff, this is an $8 or $9 million player a year.
Yeah, he gets an upgrade on the contract he currently has because it's pretty good for his production.
Honestly, you're not wrong. Yeah.
So the question becomes, I think that teams will probably not jump in with both feet. Not every team, but I think there's some people in this league that frankly don't care. Like, you remember a couple years ago, Slava Voinov, they was sniffing around to come back in.
Yeah.
And I don't want to compare the two situations because they're different, but we're talking about players with massive off ice issues.
No, we talked about it. Like, off ice issues, legal issues, good at hockey.
That's the one, right?
And every time something like this comes up, we watch teams wrestle with, but he's good at hockey.
And the thing is with him, it always starts well. Like, all we heard out of San Jose was, man, what a great team guy he is. Scores a lot of goals. He's playing great. Man, Marleau and Joe Thornton really have changed him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, at the end of the second pandemic season, they're like, well, we can't, you got star players go into the GM's office saying, we cannot play with this person.
Yeah. Led the playoffs in scoring, good at hockey.